Hi. Well, this is new, innovative, and just, well, all in all, great. Bo Burnham's is like prestige YouTube, but it's maybe a bit too high quality for that. It's not a comedy film, because, well, it addresses the audience, and there's a constant awareness of the camera, and not a distinct plot as such. It's a highly creative, innovative, one-man comedy show special, with no audience.
What the fuck is going on?
And shot over a year. The musical? That's a mouthful, my lord, and forgive me while we enter word salad, but the closest thing that comes to mind, and I say this with a heavy amount of trepidation, is, well, Pink Floyd's The Wall.
We don't need no end.
Which, no, but seriously, this is a worse millennial Zoomer version with a touch of Truman Show. A reflective musical nightmare of someone devolving into madness due to social pressures and loss of identity. And it's fitting that this generation's version is a weird, self-aware, one-man crew internet culture, more self-centered, parasocial, ironic comedy special that released on Netflix during a plague. Okay, let's quickly recap what I think about the first two. Bo Burnham's... I particularly like the theatrics of the show. You can see a lot of effort has gone into making this like a audio drama show. While I would say there is an overall theme, it doesn't integrate as well as I'd like, and the pacing can be a little breakneck at times. Most of the comedy can seem a bit, 12. However, Bo usually cleverly unveils the true joke much after the punchline of what the expected joke is, which caught me off guard several times. 7 out of 10. Moving on to Bo's makeup.
You should not laugh. You should not forget about your problems. The world is not funny.
Here, Bo has refined his kind of all-over-the-place scattershot style and made it far more poignant and effective. While before he kind of pondered about art and comedy, it's very much here at the forefront, and it's clear that he is troubled about the difference he can make in a very much unequal world. What can comedy and happiness do and be capable of in the world we live in? I enjoy this pondering, plus it helps, it's pretty funny. I like the musicals, and he balances that pretty well with the jokes. It's still a bit too zany in parts. He uses that to almost shield himself from criticism and from being vulnerable. Often the way he quickly cuts himself off into a new bit that isn't necessarily connected does hurt the flow of the show. However, I think here, even the more childish stuff works to contrast the more brutal reality he targets at parts. The speech towards the end was quite spectacular.
I can sit here and pretend like my biggest problems are Pringle cans and burritos. The truth is my biggest problem's you. I want to please you, but I want to stay true to myself.
And it puts a different light on everything we just viewed, although it still feels like there was a lack of focus and jokes or bits that didn't help build to his conclusion, and with hindsight, feel a bit out of place. Plus, I think he just doesn't like smooth transition, as he says he wants to reset the audience, but in doing this, he undersells his ability.
You can tell them anything if you just make it funny, make it rhyme.
7.5 out of 10. Okay, let's quickly run through my issues with Inside before the overwhelming praise I'm sending its way. Bo still has an issue with not being reserved enough. It's just a tad overly long and a bit too silly at points. This leads to a more childish humour to at least the early half, and sometimes it works, and other times nah. I've said it before, but often he undercuts the greater joke because he's protecting himself from criticism.
Can any single person shut the fuck up?
Yeah, it works to avoid critique. However, if you always hide behind irony, never committing to be someone, then what is the point?
Trying to be funny and stuck in a room.
Now, in some ways, I can justify this here because it's COVID and we're all anxious, but this generation really struggles to show vulnerability, hiding behind memes and dark comedy. And most of this special is showcasing just how lost and scared of being vulnerable Bo is. How he needs himself to be perceived. That's why when he discusses the internet, like in Welcome to the Internet.
Have a look around. Anything that brain of yours can think of can be found.
It works so well. That is the root cause.
Apathy's a tragedy and boredom is a crime. Anything and everything all of the time.
And much of this inability to be vulnerable is the point. I will say the more social justice-y elements have been done better elsewhere. See Randy Feltface, even James Acaster. Generally it works the best when it's directly related to Bo personally and his experiences. Like the self-awareness and irony of being a talented comedian and wanting to make a difference, and the paradox of that. What is our place in the world? What can we do?
Joking at a time like this. Should I be joking at a time like this?
There's a lot of songs, not all bangers. Same with the skits, not all great, but they all fit. The FaceTime with my mum, feeling like shit, and some of the in-between parts, like the video game, they just don't have the comedy oomph that some of the better ones have, like the joking at a time like this and Welcome to the Internet. I do think the theatrics of everything, it does lose some of the bigger comedy moments and contagious laughter that Robin Williams and Norm Macdonald can get. That's perhaps because it's trying too hard to be clever. And that works to tell a story, but lacks some of the comedic punch you get from the often in-between of smart and dumb, if that makes sense. Let me be clear here. Most of the humour is purposefully childish and ironic, due to the theme of Bo's own insecurities. He needs 5 different clever layers of just kidding between him and the audience to feel okay.
Deadpool self-awareness, loving parents, harmless fun. There it is again, that funny feeling.
Moving towards more specific praise, I will say originally this video had a much bigger, grander outline. But look at all the people who reacted to this, who engaged. Like, what kind of praise can I say that is more endearing than people being motivated and creating videos? That's fantastic, seriously. I mean, it made me have to do way less work because, well, people love it. It incited emotional change. Okay, well, here's my take. My favourite part is that this reflects actual character growth for Bo. The majority of the special he hides behind irony and self-awareness, speaking absolutely dribble. The claustrophobic COVID isolation drives him to basically insanity. He's scared of the outside.
And that means I have to just live my life.
Change. Vulnerability. In the end, it's only once he steps outside, when he can't hide behind trends and irony, that it matters. The camera is almost always stationary, with a slow digital zoom. It creates this isolated COVID feeling, and towards the end,
You say the ocean's rising like I give a shit. You say the whole world's ending, honey, it already did.
when he picks the camera up, we feel it. We finally get dramatic movement, unflinching awareness of the space we've been in for an hour. So once he leaves the wall, the room that he has built, that the world has built, the internet memes that mask vulnerability, only once he can't hide in front of the camera.
Am I going crazy? Would I even know? Am I right back where I started 14 years ago?
Can he actually move on and live, leaving the safety of his written persona?
You're really joking at a time like this.
Now that is brilliant character work. It's fitting for his third proper special. He's finally captured and fulfilled the innovative creative promise that works for his YouTube origins, and the comedy that comes with that. So once he finally leaves the room, the inside to the outside, there's no going back. And just now, just maybe, at the end, Bo is happy. 8 out of 5. Huh? 8 out of 10.